Why, hello. So I'm not sure how many of you got the chance to see my previous work story video where I talked about my experience at McDonald's and how horrible it was. But if you didn't get the chance to see that, it's in the description, by the way, if you want to check it out after this video. I talk about how I worked 7 jobs before YouTube became my job. And let me tell you, boy, do I have many stories to tell from them, because each job was different in its own right, and just from the customers to the people I worked with to the management in general. Oh my sweet God, I have so many things to tell you guys, so many stories. And with that being said, because I'm Canadian and because some of these restaurants I've worked in are not very overly commonly well known, especially, you know, for the rest of the world, I didn't really feel the need to put it in the title because the previous one I did McDonald's, but here I am yet again. So guys, before I get into this story, I still like to keep this going. If you didn't know, I like to ask you guys to leave your crazy stories in the comment section below, and I pick 3 and I feature them, and they're gonna go up right there on the screen. So guys, you should totally leave a crazy story. Maybe you have a similar story as to what I'm about to tell you guys. But with that being said, be sure to leave a comment down. Don't forget to like, and of course subscribe, and enjoy this story that I'm about to tell you. Okay, so where to begin? So I want to say this happened this happened, I believe, when I was in grade 11. So this was 2011. This was around, no, sorry, not 2011. Actually, no, this was 2011. This was actually right after, ironically enough, right after I worked at McDonald's, which was the summer of 2011. So after working at McDonald's for the summer, you know, the fall rolled around, and of course Halloween was coming up. And I believe this was my 3rd job, I think, my 3rd or 4th job, but I ended up going to a Halloween store, applying there, and they hired me, which was awesome. And what made it even better was I actually got the chance to work with my friend who also worked there as well. So that was really cool, and you know, it was just really fun to be working with one of your best friends at the same store. So that was really cool. So what made working here so interesting, and when interesting I mean stressful and aggravating, was the boss. Okay, so there was this guy, all right, his name was, let's call him Joe. Joe was the boss, was the manager of the store, or whatever. He was the guy who pretty much set it up and was essentially the boss. But the thing about Joe was, you know, he was a cool guy, but it wasn't really Joe that was bad. It was his wife. So his wife, okay, was the definition of biatch. I'm not even kidding. This woman was horrible, and she was really rude, and you want to hear the best part? She had no, role in this store. She was literally just there to be, act like a second boss. When she was a nurse, she would literally just stop by, bosses around, and just take off. And it was just so stupid because Joe would just let her do it. And the thing was, I actually witnessed Joe's wife make one of the staff members cry. And you want to hear the best thing about this? After she made her cry, she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to do it. Oh," acting all like, "Oh, sorry. You know, I didn't mean to be like that." But yeah, she straight up made someone cry right in front of the customers as well, which, by the way, was horrible business. So as you can see, these people don't really know what they're doing. And they actually admitted that this was the first time they had opened up a Halloween store. So this was a chain, by the way, so they didn't actually own this Halloween store. They just, I don't really know how that works. They set it up, I guess. But either way, these were pretty much the bosses, and it was just getting out of control. Now, I've told a few stories about this place in the past, but I know for a fact I have not spoken about this one, because this was actually really bad, and this could have actually ended up killing somebody. So what happened was, one day me and my friend were actually driving around, and we got called into work, both of us. And when we got called, Joe's wife called us freaking out in a panic. Because when we were setting up the store, it turns out, like, okay, so how do I explain this? So, if you've ever been in like a Halloween store, you see how it's all set up like with a bunch of like racks? It's like a bunch of steel racks that hold the Halloween stuff. That's usually how they set up Halloween stores. It's just a bunch of just stacked up metal racks that hold the items. So what happened was that we had a bunch of these racks stacked up, and there wasn't very many items on these racks, but there was these like, I don't want to say spikes, but they were like really long, kind of like metal rod things that would hold the items, such as the costumes and stuff, on the racks. But when there's nothing on these little spike metal rod things, they can actually be pretty dangerous because they are kind of sharp and they're also small. So this is where things got bad. So we're driving around and I get a call from Joe's wife and she's freaking out. She told us that the entire row of these metal racks had literally toppled over each other and pulled a full domino effect in the building. So all of these giant metal racks that were about 7 to 8 feet tall literally just dominoed right across the store. And at the time we were officially open for business, and there was a lot of racks that we were still setting up. So there was a lot of these like spikes coming out of the racks. And the best part about it was there was a customer that almost got freaking impaled in between these racks. And might I also add that these racks are heavy. These are very heavy metal. These are super heavy racks. I mean, putting them together was a challenge in itself, but these things falling on you is bad enough. But then throwing on top of the spikes, man, so this person almost got impaled, okay? So we got called in because she was in a panic because this happened and we needed to fix the store right away because somebody didn't set up a rack properly. And yeah, it almost led to somebody dying and getting impaled, and it was actually really freaky because coming into the store, it looked like the whole store was just destroyed because this wasn't like a super big store, but literally half of the store's racks and like Halloween costumes were all over the floor. So that was really terrifying, but to say the least, no one died, and we fixed it after and it never happened again. But either way, that being said, that is one of the many other work stories I have to tell you guys today. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, again, you should totally leave a like on it. And don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below on what kind of stories you've got to tell. Alright guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, take care and avoid Halloween stores.